Hi, I'm Sarah and welcome to Rich Textures Crochet on YouTube. Let's crochet something beautiful today. Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we are going to learn how to crochet the Home for Christmas stocking. The Home for Christmas stocking is a fairly large Christmas stocking made with a super bulky weight yarn. For my stocking, I have used Lion Brand's Wool-Ease Thick and Quick yarn, and I've used two different colors. So for this project, you are going to need 2 balls of the Lion Brand Thick and Quick yarn if you're using the same one, and each ball has approximately 106 yards. So in total, you will need 212 yards for this crochet project. It is made with a super bulky weight yarn, which makes this stocking work up fairly quickly. It's going to be great if you're working on some last-minute Christmas decorations or wanting to do several of these for an upcoming Christmas or event. I have selected 2 colors, as I've mentioned, so today I will be working with a beautiful blue tone as well as a cream. You will also need an 8mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors and a yarn needle for finishing off. You will, as we will be working in continuous rounds, you will require 1 stitch marker. And if you choose to make pom-poms to add a unique accent to your Christmas stocking, you will need a method by which to make those, either a pom-pom maker or a couple toilet paper rolls, as you will see in one of my other video tutorials where I teach you how to make pom-poms. I will be using this Clover pom-pom maker, and I will show you at the end of this video how I made my pom-poms to attach to my Christmas stocking. You will also need a copy of the crochet pattern. It is for free on my blog at richtexturescrochet.com, and I will include the direct link for you in the video notes of this tutorial. Now that we have all of our materials together, let's get started. Okay, so to begin, you are going to take your super bulky weight yarn and your color A. You are going to leave a fairly long tail, and you are going to begin by making a slip knot. You will want to leave a fairly long tail because at the end you are going to use this tail to crochet or to sew the toe of your stocking closed. Once you have made your slip knot, you are going to continue by chaining 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After you have chained 6 stitches, being careful not to twist your chain, you are going to join in the first stitch with a slip stitch. For round 1, you will chain 1, and now work 1/2 double crochet stitch in each chain all the way around. To work your 1/2 double crochet stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch indicated, yarn over, and pull up a loop. With 3 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That is 1/2 double crochet stitch made. Next, you will 1/2 double crochet in each remaining chain all the way around for a total of 6. This is stitch number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At the end of your round, you will not join. In this pattern, do not join and do not turn your work unless stated otherwise. We are going to be working in continuous rounds. For round 2, you are going to be working in the 3rd loop. To find the 3rd loop of your 1/2 double crochet stitch, you are going to look at the back of your stitch. So if I single this 1/2 double crochet stitch out right here, this is the front of my work. If I tilt it forward a little bit, on the back of the stitch, you will see two horizontal bars, this one here on top and this one here on the bottom. Your third loop is the horizontal stitch there on the bottom. So once again, this is the front of my stitch. Turn your stitch forward. You will see the one horizontal bar and the one underneath of it. That is your third loop. So that's the loop that you will be working on for this round and all the other rounds following this. You will always work in this third loop. So you will begin by working 1 half double crochet stitch in the next stitch, working in the third loop. Next, work 1 half double crochet stitch in the next stitch in the third loop. And in the next stitch, you will work 2 half double crochet stitches. 1 and 2. Again, you're always working in the third loop. Work 1 half double crochet stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then 2 half double crochet stitches in the next stitch. This will bring you all the way around to your first stitch, completing round 2. For round 3, working again in the third loop, you are going to half double crochet in the next stitch, and you will mark this stitch. From now on, this stitch marker will always mark where your first stitch is, and you are going to move this stitch marker up as your work progresses. So you've half double crocheted in the third loop in that first stitch, and in the next stitch, you are going to work 2 half double crochet stitches. 1, 2, again, always working the third loop. For the rest of this round, you are simply going to repeat that pattern. 1 half double crochet stitch in the next, followed by 2 half double crochet stitches in the next stitch. 1 half double crochet stitch in the next, 2 half double crochet stitches in the next stitch. Continue that all the way around. At the end of this round, you will have a total of 12 stitches. And now we are back to where our stitch marker is. For round 4, you are going to repeat round 3. So for round 3, we half double crocheted in the next stitch. Don't forget to move your stitch marker up. And then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. Always working in the third loop. Half double crochet stitch in the next, followed by 2 in the next stitch. Continue that all the way around. At the end of round 4, you will have a total of 18 stitches. And you will see that you are slowly increasing the number of stitches that you have in the toe of your sock. Once you've come to your stitch marker, you will have completed round 4. For round 5, once again, you're going to repeat that round 3. So half double crochet in the next stitch, move your stitch marker up, always working in the third loop, and then work 2 half double crochet stitches in the next. Repeat that all the way around, half double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next, always in the third loop. At the end of round 5, you are going to have a total of 27 stitches. For round 6, still working in the third loop, you are going to half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and then 2 half double crochet stitches in the next. You will repeat that all the way around. So 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2. Don't forget to move your stitch marker up. And then 2 half double crochet stitches in the next. 1 half double crochet stitch in each of the next 2 stitches and 2 half double crochet stitches in the next. You are going to repeat that pattern all the way around until you have a total of 36 stitches, or when you come back to your stitch marker. And at the end of this round, you are going to change colors. So complete this round, and then I will show you how I like to change color in my project. So here I am at the end of round 6, and I'm working my final stitch, and I know that I'm going to want to change color. So this is my 36th stitch. I'm going to begin working it. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in that stitch, yarn over and pull through. I'll have 3 loops on my hook. Now to change color, I'm simply going to drop that color A. I'm not going to complete my stitch with color A. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to pick up my color B, and I'm going to complete my stitch using that color. So now for my next round, color B is all set to go. I'll show you that one more time. So I'm at the end of round 36. I'm going to want to change colors. So I'm going to start my last stitch, yarn over, insert my hook, and drop a loop. Instead of completing my stitch with that color A, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to pick up my color B and complete the stitch with that color. Now my color B is all set to go for round 7. For rounds 7 to 10, so for the next 4 rounds, what I am going to do is I'm going to continue working in that third loop, and I'm going to work 1 half double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. So begin working my stitch in that third loop of that first stitch. Don't forget to move your stitch marker up, and then continue working 1 half double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. You are going to repeat that for a total of 4 rounds, so rounds 7 to 10. At the end of round 10, you are going to switch back to color A. So at the end of round 10, you are going to want again to switch to color A. So what you will do is work your final stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, and pull up your yarn. With 3 loops on your hook, you're going to drop your color B, pick up your color A, and yarn over and pull through. You're now ready to begin round 11, working with your new color, color A. For rounds 11 through to 14, so for the next 4 rounds, you are going to once again work in the third loop and half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Remember once again to always move your stitch marker up, so you always have that first stitch in each round marked. Then half double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. When you come to the end of round 14, you are going to once again switch to your color B. Now if you take a look at your stocking thus far, you can see that by working in the third loop, you have these beautiful kind of raised ridges that kind of give you this knit look in your stocking. Okay, so once again, working rounds 11 to 14 in the third loop, half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 14, be sure to switch to color, back again to color B. I am now at the end of round 14 and I am just switching over to my color B. Now for the next 2 rounds, you are going to continue working in the 3rd loop, and using your color B, you will half double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. So this time you will only be working 2 rounds in color B, and at the end of round 16, you will switch back to your color A and you will begin to shape the heel. So work 1 half double crochet stitch in color B all the way around, working the 3rd loop. Do that for a total of 2 rows, and at the end of, or 2 rounds, at the end of round 16, you're going to change back to your color A. Now working my final stitch of round 16, I am switching over to color A and dropping my color B. Now I'm going to begin to shape the heel of my stocking. The heel of my stocking is going to be worked in color A, and it is going to be worked in rows, not in the 3rd loop. So you will now be working in the tops of your stitches where you would normally be working your crochet stitches. It's going to be worked in rows, so knowing where your first stitch in that round is, you're going to remove your stitch marker and just set it aside for now. Now working with color A, working through both loops, you are going to begin to shape your heel by working 1 single crochet stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. To work your single crochet stitch, you simply insert your hook in the top of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. With 2 loops on your hook, you will yarn over and pull through. That's 1 and 2. Now, leaving the remaining stitches unworked, you are going to turn your work. So I'm now looking at the wrong side. For row 2, you're going to skip the first stitch, and you are going to slip stitch in the next single crochet stitch. There's no chain 1. Simply slip stitch in the next single crochet stitch, and then you're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 2, and slip stitch in the next stitch. Leaving the remaining stitches unworked, you will once again turn your work. Now, with the right side facing, you will work row 3. For row 3, you're going to skip that first stitch, which is your slip stitch. You're going to slip stitch in the first single crochet, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, which is that single crochet stitch. You're going to single crochet in the next slip stitch. And then in the next stitch, it's this stitch down here on your previous round 16. So you're going to jump down a little bit and single crochet in that next stitch on round 16. Next, slip stitch in the next stitch. Turn your work. For row 4, you're going to skip the first slip stitch in the next single crochet stitch, single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Your 4th stitch is the next stitch down on row around 16. And then slip stitch in the next stitch. Once again, turn your work. Row 5, you're going to skip the first slip stitch in the next single crochet stitch, single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, jump down to your round 16, slip stitch in the next stitch, and turn. Row 6, you're going to skip the first slip stitch in the next stitch, single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, jump down for the 6th, slip stitch in the next stitch, turn your work, row 7, skip the first slip stitch in the next single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches, slip stitch in the next stitch, and turn your work. Row 8, skip that first slip stitch in the next single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches, slip stitch in the next stitch, turn your work. For row 9, you are going to skip the first slip stitch in the next single crochet stitch, single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches, and slip stitch in the next stitch. And now, at the end of row 9, you will change back to your color B. To change on the slip stitch, if you would like, sometimes what I like to do is I'll just take that slip stitch out, pick up my color B, and to slip stitch, I'll pull both colors through, and then continue working with my color B as I continue. So now if you take a look at your sock, you will have this nice little pouch here for your heel. Now you are going to once again begin working in rounds. As you continue for round 17, we'll just pick up where we left off. We are going to begin working in the 3rd loop once again. And we are going to half double crochet in the 3rd loop in each of the next 23 stitches. So you're going to continue going in the same direction, find your 3rd loop, which is that loop and back, and work 1 half double crochet stitch in the next 23 stitches. Stitch 11, 10 more. It's 20, 21, 22, and 23. Once you have 23 half double crochets in the third loop, you're going to half double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So to half double crochet 2 together, you're going to yarn over. For the first leg, in the third loop, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, insert your hook, working through both loops of that slip stitch on your last row of your heel. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You're going to want to pull it fairly tight together so that you don't have a gap in this space here. Yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. That's your half double crochet 2 together. Now you're going to continue working across, and you're going to half double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. And here on this heel, you're just working in your top loops. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you will conclude with 1 half double crochet 2 together in your final 2 stitches here. So you'll yarn over, insert it in the slip stitch here, pull through, yarn over, and just in your next stitch, and yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. You are then ready to start working in rounds once again. So then in round 18, you're going to work again in the third loop, and you're going to simply half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. When you come back to the beginning, you're going to switch back to your color A. So half double crochet in the third loop in that first stitch, and then you're going to once again use your stitch marker, mark that stitch, then continue to work half double crochet stitches in the third loop in each stitch all the way around. When you come to the end of your round 18, you are going to switch to color A. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 34 half double crochet stitches. At the end of round 18, you've switched back to your color A. Now you are going to continue working. We are going to work up the cuff or the arm, I guess, of the stocking. And we are basically going to work it the same way as we did these 2 center stripes here. So for rounds 19 to 22, you will continue working in the third loop using your color A, and you will simply half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 22, you will switch to color B. Then using color B, you will work 4 more rounds in color B, switch back to color A, and work 4 rounds in color A, switching back to color B, working 4 rounds in color B. If you take a look at the stocking I have already done, you will have a total of 2 more sections working in that color A. There's 1 and there's 2. And you'll have 2 more working in your color B. There's 1 and there's 2. So for a total of 4 stripes working up the cuff of your stocking. And then we will work the final part that you will turn over. I will not work all of those rounds in this video. Again, if you want further assistance, head on over to my blog and I'll give you the written instructions there. But simply put, work 4 rounds in color A, 4 rounds in color B, 4 rounds in color A, and conclude with 4 rounds in color B, and get ready to work your cuff, at which time I will come back and show you how to do that. Okay, so welcome back everyone. By now, for your Christmas stocking, you will have now worked from your heel. You will have completed 2 rows of your color B, then 4 rows of color A, 4 rows of color B, 4 rounds, I should be saying, of color A, and 4 final rounds of color B. So in the total for the leg of your stocking, you're going to have 2 of each color, 2 stripes of each color. Okay, that is going to bring you to the end of round 34. At the end of round 34, you are going to switch to color A on your final stitch, as you have been doing all along. So just switch over to color A there at the end of round 34. You can then snip off your color B and set it aside because you are now finished working with it. For now, unless you're going to do pom-poms. Okay, so set that aside. Now working in color A, you are going to begin to make your cuff. Now the first thing I did with my cuff was at the end of that round there, I've changed over my color A, and to make your cuff, you're going to begin by working in the 3rd loop and working 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. Okay, so working 1 double crochet stitch in the 3rd loop all the way around. To make your double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 more loops. That's your double crochet stitch. Move your stitch marker up for now, and then continue on working 1 double crochet stitch in the 3rd loop of each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 35, which is that double crochet row, you're going to come back to your first stitch. You're going to remove your stitch marker at this time, and you are going to join with a slip stitch in the top of that stitch. So just simply join with a slip stitch. Then for round 36, you are going to begin by chaining 3, and this is going to count as a double crochet stitch. You're now going to proceed by working a pattern of front post double crochet stitches and back post double crochet stitches around each stitch all the way around. So because this chain 3 counts as your first stitch, you're going to skip that double crochet stitch underneath of it. Next, in the next double crochet, you're going to work a front post double crochet stitch. To work your front post double crochet stitch, you're going to yarn over, working around the post of the next stitch. So not in the top of the stitch, you're going to work around the post. You're going to bring your hook in front, insert your hook from the front toward the back, bring your hook around the back of your stitch and bring it back out on the other side. And so you'll work around the post. You're then going to complete your double crochet stitch as you would otherwise. So yarn over, draw your yarn through back around the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. That is your front post double crochet, and you're going to see that it's going to raise the stitch out a little bit. Your next stitch is a back post double crochet. So to work your back post double crochet, you're going to yarn over, bringing your hook behind your work. You're going to insert your hook from back to front, around the post of the next double crochet and through to the back of your work. Back there, you're going to yarn over, draw up a loop, bringing it back around the back of that post. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 more loops. That is your back post double crochet. I'll show you those to you one more time. Next, you're going to work a front post double crochet around the next stitch. To work your front post double crochet, you're going to yarn over, bring your hook in front of your work, insert your hook around the post, working from front to back, around the back of the post, and up through the front again. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops. Next, a back post double crochet. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook from back behind your work, up through the front, around your post, and out through the back again. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through your last 2 loops. That again is your back post double crochet. So you're going to continue repeating that front post double crochet around the next stitch, back post double crochet around the next stitch, all the way around the cuff. When you come to your first stitch, you are going to join in the top of that stitch with a slip stitch. Now working my final back post double crochet stitch. And when you come back to the beginning of your chain 3, you're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of that stitch, and you're going to fasten off. Once you have fastened off, you're simply going to take your yarn needle, you're going to weave it through so that you can tuck that end in nicely. Once you have tucked in that tail up at the top of your cuff, you're going to remember that you left that long tail down on your toe. What you're going to do is just simply turn your stocking inside out there a little bit. Take that long tail and thread it through your yarn needle, and now you're going to sew the toe of your stocking closed. So just find the hole there. I just did a quick kind of running stitch here through the 2 thicknesses of my toe. When I came to the end, I tied a simple knot, and maybe I should have left a little bit of a longer tail. And then I just pull that tail through to tuck it in nicely. There we go, and then you can trim that end off. Turn your stocking back right side out, and your toe should now be closed and have some nice shape to it there at the bottom, just like that. Now just a couple of final embellishments for our stocking. Now that you've done the cuff, you can either leave it turned up, or I like to turn mine down just to give them something a little extra. Then what you're going to do, if you'd like to make a hanger, simply take a piece of yarn and affix it to the top there at the end. You can make a thicker cord if you would like. Just like that. I tied a knot simply there, and then turning my loop around, I just tucked in my 2 remaining ends. And I'll take a needle later on and weave those ends through to secure them a little bit more. And that's all I did for the hanger of my stocking. Now you'll notice the sample one that I did before and the one that you'll see on my blog, I have created some pom-poms. If you check out the video notes for this tutorial, you will find 2 videos. One video will teach you how to make pom-poms using a clover pom-pom maker, such as this one. And then another tutorial is there as well, teaching you how to make pom-poms using some simple recycled toilet paper rolls that I had lying around the house. So check those out. Embellish your Christmas stocking with a couple pom-poms and then enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial on how to make the Home for Christmas stocking. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to check out my blog where you will find many other free crochet patterns. Thank you so much. Happy crocheting. Bye.